Frank lost 8 lemons, peels and all. It was on a bet, and he won it. They called him Bitter Frank after that, and the name with the sour of the lemon stuck. Now in his 70s, he sat on the back porch, blue suspenders, white shirt, gray pants, and brown shoes. A flower box sits before him, daisies and dandelions, yellow things with green leaves and strong, hard stems. A clapboard house, white. A concrete porch, not a crack. Frank kept things up. Hair comb to the right, parted on the left. Same cut as the first cut he got at the age of 4 years old. He'd have the same barber, but he'd been through a series of those. One died after the other. Now he went to a goddamn hairstylist. She was prettier than the other cutters had been. Some things he thought changed for the better. Her name was Beatrice. She was 20-something, had small, perky tits, hips like a boy, and what he'd heard people call an apple in the nose. That meant thin. She smelled of some perfume she called Channel 5. Damn name. But when she leaned over him, he'd close his eyes and travel places he hadn't visited in 50 years. Places he'd never been except when he closed his eyes. The scent of perspiration and perfume swirled into an intoxicating elixir to send him reeling into a phantasmagoric abyss of loss and longing. Frank felt his heart expand and thought at first he was having yet another heart attack. Then he felt this warmth where it had been cold for a long, long time. Again, he thought something bad had happened. He felt his crotch to see if he'd wet his pants. He discovered his dick was as hard as a copper pipe. It was a shock. His hand jerked away if he found a snake in his pants and knocked the comb right out of his stylist's pretty hand. Beatrice had asked if everything was all right. Frank said maybe she could take a little more off the sides and to leave the back long. Frank never let the back stay long, and now he wished he had done it years ago. Beatrice knelt down before him to retrieve her comb. Frank's head began to pound. Relieved that the barber's apron covered his midriff, he watched her move fluidly as if she were as young as she was. Before getting off her knees, she looked up at Frank, and her green eyes were a flash of blinding light to his overused retinas. The world dimmed, turned black. When he woke up, Beatrice was gently dabbing at his wrinkled forehead with a damp cloth. We thought we lost you, Frank. She was gazing at him. Her eyes almost sent him into a blackness again, but he held forth. He said she had called an ambulance and that he had been out for about 5 minutes. Death by haircut, Frank. Bad business. She smiled. He smiled. And when he did, he thought of his face was cracking like a plaster into a leathery shards. Never seen you smile before, Frank, she said. Me neither, he replied. What's the occasion, she asked. He took her hand and said, I'm in love. Old men could say such things without being taken serious. Frank had seen old men say all kinds of things to women, especially young women, and the response ranged from a patronizing giggle to no response at all. Old men, after all, are invisible, crazy, usually both. Beatrice squeezed his hand, and Frank wasn't sure if the sirens he heard were in the ambulance or from his head. Beatrice leaned over Frank, her perky breasts hovering in a miasma of perfume and body heat, and said, I love you too, Frank. She kissed him on the soft, thin lips. Bitter Frank, he died smiling in love and sweet, sweet scented lies.